Mills, established 1772 by the three Ellicott brothers from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. They opened the road from here to Baltimore. The B and ORR was completed to this point on May 20th, 1830. Here's a little garden spot. Teddy J. Betts, Mr. Patapsco, rock stacking. Here's a view of the town, Ellicott City. Okay, so that's the high water line. In 1972 with Hurricane Agnes, this whole floor flooded, and that white line on that brick wall, that's the high water line. Interesting place. It was built in 1833. Old building. Pretty cool. The flood of 1972. There's the mills. We're somewhere here in this picture. But the thing is, we're right about here. And there are the mills. We're down across the street from the mills. Pretty impressive. Here's the funny thing about Ellicott City. I used to live not far from here in Maryland, and I came to Ellicott City fairly regularly. But I don't ever recall looking around at this side of town past that bridge where the mills were that the place was named for. Kind of funny. At least I don't recall coming down this far. Yeah, I don't recall walking past this bridge. And oddly enough, here's something else I don't recall seeing. 10M2B. And what is that? This milestone shows the distance in miles from the Baltimore courthouse to Ellicott City on the Baltimore and Frederick Turnpike, a toll road. The Turnpike Company was chartered in 1805 and the road was completed in 1818. The markers made of Baltimore guineas, I don't know how to pronounce that, from the Ellicott City area were placed at each mile during the initial construction of the Turnpike. Here's another attraction I've never really visited, the B&O Railroad Station. This plaque describes it. Here's the Ellicott's Mill Station trackside facade circa 1858, taken from across the Patapsco River, which by the way was that river I showed you. Ellicott City Station. Let's take another look. 3rd Maryland Volunteer Infantry. I used to reenact in that group. The Freight Agent's Living Quarters. And this would be the station administrative office and ladies' waiting room. A Civil War uniform over there in the corner. The depot bell used to announce the arrival and departure of trains until 1927. It is the oldest surviving railroad station bell in America. There it is. Surveyor's compass, circa 1770 to 1790. Originally owned by Benjamin Henry Latrobe, possibly used while surveying Washington, D.C. in the early 1800s. It was handed down to his son Benjamin Henry Latrobe Jr., civil engineer for the B&O, and used to survey the route of the B&O from Baltimore to points west. Okay, now this is seriously cool. This is the telegraph ticket office. This room was part of the original 2-story freight and produce warehouse at the station. An opening in the floor allowed workers to raise and lower freight to and from street level. The B&O added the telegraph and ticket office during the 1856-1857 conversion of the depot for passenger service. 2 ticket windows were installed, one for men on the right and one for women and children on the left. Very cool. I like this sort of thing. Yes, Hemingway insulators. We have a couple of those. That was a collecting fad in California in the 70s, probably nationally. America's first internet. This is the main waiting room, the men's waiting room, with a spittoon. Passenger room, telegraph and ticket office. They did a very good job with this museum. Oh, what have we here? One of my favorite writers, Edgar Allan Poe. Fun fact, I learned when I went to the Poe Museum in Richmond, he only wore that mustache while he lived in New York. And most of his life, he did not have a mustache at all. The Mask of the Red Death. I know that engraving. He was also quite athletic. He used to swim the James River frequently. So he wasn't really a tired little scribe sitting at a table. He was quite athletic. Oh, look at this. Signals, lanterns, and flags getting the message across. Strap iron rail. Changing horses at the relay house, 1830. Strap rail. Ring me. Don't mind if I do. All points west, Sykesville, Frederick, Harper's Ferry. All points east, relay, Baltimore. This looks like a movie set. I don't know how many movies I've seen that featured a train station like this. The one that comes to mind is Anne of Green Gables. Ellicott's Mills. Turntable and track. Oh, this was where the turntable was. The 1863 turntable. Okay, now we're talking. Look at this. Push and hold button to start model trains. Will do. Oh, I see. There's where we are. There's Ellicott City. There's that church building. And where did I eat? Down here somewhere, I think. I don't remember. Look at this. Oh, look at the trolley. Normally I'm not into model railroading, but I'm digging this. And finally, the caboose. Oh, I didn't know it originated from Dutch. Used to describe a cooking galley on the deck of a ship and also meant little house. All right then. Well, here's the little house of a railroad train, the caboose, an interior. Very nice. Push information. This one was built in 1927.
Welcome to the B&O's caboose. Only in America did a cook stove turn into a railroad car. That was the fate of the railroad car.
Okay, how cool is this? I am in the little observation tower of the caboose. Always wanted to do this. Very cool. Look at that. You can see out. You've got a gauge to look at.
By the time of the Civil War, these little shacks on wheels were named after the cook stove that served.
This is so cool. There's a part of me that always wanted to be a railroad employee.
Were actually brown or brownish red in color. It wasn't until the 20th century that the bright red color became common. Located at the end of freight trains, the red color visually identified the end of a long train. This caboose was built in 1929 and served the B&O Railroad until its retirement in 1975.
1975?
No longer needed on modern trains today. Instead, flashing rear-end devices known as frags have taken the place of this classic railroading icon. Feel free to climb up to the cupola seats.
Oh, you're not going to say the rest. Red means a where's the flashing red? There's a Fred flashing red illumination device. I forget whatever flashing red LED. I forget. And then there's an Ethel. The thing that controls it, I think, is called an Ethel. So there's a Fred and an Ethel. And there's St. Paul's Catholic Church, established 1838. I don't think I've ever been up this road either. I know I've been up that one. I don't think I've ever been up to Mulligan's Hill. Well, if you like railroads, this is the place to be. I am thoroughly impressed. Here in the men's room, above the urinal, is a print of the Golden Spike Ceremony at Promontory, Utah, May 10th, I can't read that. Well, anyway, I did a reenactment of that back in 1983. Up this winding road lies the village of Oella. A world apart. It's a time capsule of vanishing Americana. Here rose the first manufacturing company ever chartered by the state of Maryland. The year was 1808. Here's some of the attractions of Oella. Long brick road built 1830s, Victorians, late 1800s. Aladdin Company kit houses from 1917. Textile mill building. Yeah, it's another place I've never been. I think I'm going to have to visit Oella. right, what happened here? No Hose Nation, Berwyn Heights. What's that mean, no hose? Oh, spam.
Ride free, brother. Ride free.